All right, today we're going to dig into something really fascinating. We're going to take a concept many of us think we know, the Sangha, and discover that its truest meaning goes way, way beyond just a community in robes.
So, let me ask you, when I say the word Sangha, what's the first picture that pops into your head? For most of us, it's a community of monks or nuns, right? The robes, the shaved heads. But what if I told you that's only half the story? What if the real, essential Sangha has nothing to do with any of that on the outside?
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the two different kinds of Sangha. Then, we'll see how you even join them. After that, we'll ask a big question. Who is truly worthy? We'll dive into the 4 stages that actually define this group. And finally, we'll figure out what all of this means for finding a true refuge in our own lives.
All right, first up, let's tackle this core idea. It's not one single group we're talking about. It's really 2. One is all about the outer form, and the other is all about an inner quality.
So on one side, you've got the conventional Sangha, the Sammuti Sangha. That's the institutional order we all recognize. But on the other side, there's something called the noble Sangha, the Arya Sangha, which literally means the family of the noble ones. And the difference is everything. One is defined by external ceremonies, the other by what you've achieved inside yourself.
So the conventional Sangha, this is the one you probably already know. It's the official community of ordained folks. You know, they wear the robe, they follow specific rules, and they've gone through formal ceremonies to get there. It's the visible, institutional body of the religion.
But this is where things get really interesting. The noble Sangha has absolutely nothing to do with robes or ordination. It's a group based purely on the transcendent qualities a person has developed in their heart. It doesn't matter if you're a layperson, a monk, a man, a woman, your race. None of those external labels mean a thing here. Okay, so if they're 2 completely different groups, it makes sense that you join them in totally different ways, right? So let's look at how that actually works. It's a story of ceremony versus practice.
Yeah, this chart really breaks it down for us. To get into the conventional Sangha, you need a formal ceremony, you need witnesses, you need the okay from the order. But the noble Sangha? The source material says there are no formalities whatsoever. It's all about your inner practice. And check out the inclusivity. One is restricted, but the other is wide open to everyone. This leads to this amazing idea that you become self-ordained into the noble Sangha, just by practicing correctly.
This leads to a really important practical question. If these 2 groups are so different, which one can you really count on as a refuge? Who is truly worthy of that kind of trust?
Well, think about it. Since the conventional Sangha is based on an external ceremony, it's going to be a mixed bag. You'll find incredibly dedicated practitioners, for sure. But you might also find people who are just in it to make a living. Or as the source colorfully puts it, some are like artificial gems, or even parasitic creepers. It's a human institution, and that comes with all the good and the bad.
Now the noble Sangha, that's a whole different story. It's defined by its purity. To be a member guarantees you've reached a certain level of spiritual attainment. It means you fundamentally closed the door to being reborn in the lower realms, hells, hungry ghosts, you name it. That's a level of spiritual security that is just profound.
So how do you actually get into this noble Sangha? What does it take? Well, it's not about an application form. It's about walking a path of inner purification. A path of cutting away the spiritual fetters that hold us back.
And this path is marked by 4 clear stages of awakening. You start as a stream enterer, then you can become a once-returner, then a non-returner, and finally, a fully awakened arahant. These 4 groups, and only these 4 groups, make up the noble Sangha.
Okay, so that first step, becoming a stream enterer, is a huge deal. It's a total game changer. It means you have permanently smashed through 3 fundamental illusions. First, that deep-seated belief that I am this body and mind. Second, any kind of crippling, paralyzing doubt about the path. And third, the attachment to just going through the motions, believing that mere rituals can save you. Once you cut these 3, you've entered the stream, and you are guaranteed to reach full awakening eventually.
From there, the journey goes even deeper. The once-returner has seriously weakened the big 3, passion, aversion, and delusion. But the non-returner? They go all the way. They completely abandon all sensual craving and all forms of irritation. For them, there's no coming back to be reborn in this world.
And that brings us to the final stage, the arahant. This is it, full awakening. They've severed all 10 fetters, even the super subtle ones like attachment to blissful meditative states,
the tiniest flicker of conceit or restlessness, and of course, the root of it all, ignorance. They are completely and totally free.
All right, let's pull all these threads together. We've seen the outer symbol and the inner substance. So what does this all mean for us, right now, when we're looking for a real, dependable spiritual refuge?
You know, this quote just nails it. The conventional Sangha is like the flag of the religion. It's the visible symbol, it's important, it shows us the way. But the noble Sangha, that's the territory the flag is pointing to. It's not the symbol, it's the real deal, the qualities you have to build in your own heart.
So here's the bottom line. The real, lasting refuge, it isn't some external club you join. It's found by cultivating the qualities of the noble ones inside yourself. That virtue, that truth, that purity, that's what protects you. That's the real shelter from suffering.
And that really flips the whole idea on its head, doesn't it? If true refuge isn't an institution you join, but a quality you become, it puts all the power and all the responsibility right back on us. It's not about finding safety out there somewhere, it's about building it right here inside. So the real question for all of us is, what inner qualifications are you cultivating today?